What is the container name? Container. Into this container, we need to add another element. Then we have to use append child. Append child is a method, and we have to define child element. Child element is which one? Child element is pick. That means document dot get element by ID container. Into this container, append child. Append child, which is the child element pick. Pick is the child element. We have to define that. So if you know these two terms, two techniques, then we can start presenting array. So to present the collection correctly, first we have to know how to create element and how to add this element into page. To create element, two methods are there. Just I will give a summary. Document dot create element is one method, and create element. Document dot create element is one method, and append child. Append child is another method. Document dot create element and append child. So by using these two techniques, these 2 points, we can create any element and we can add any element into the page. This, if you are good, then we can see how to present. We will see how we can present the contents, how we can present the data. Let's see. First, I will show one example for this concept. What I will do here, let's open our project. And in this project, yeah. Now in this project, what we will do, let's create a yeah. So here I said some array. Yeah. Let's go into the body section. Here we will put one button, and we will say create image. Below this button, we will put a div, and this div have a ID container. Okay, now this is empty. We have a button and create image. Now when I click on create image, when I click on this create image, it must create one image and add that image into the container below. So let's do the logic here. We have to write on click. On click, I will simply write create click. Okay. Let's write the function here. Script function create click. Create click. Okay. Now first step, we have to create a image. So to create image, document dot create element and img, that is the element. How to access this from memory? For this, we will give a reference name var pick is equal to this. Now image is accessed by using this reference. Now you have to define image related properties. Pick.src /public/images/ some like speaker.jpg, whatever image you are having. Next, pic.width is equal to 100, pic.height is equal to 100, and pic. Some border is equal to 1, like this. After creating the picture and defining the properties, add this into container. How to access the container? Document dot get element by ID. What is it? Container dot append child. Into the container, add child. Appending is adding child. What is the child node name? Child node name is pic. Pic is the child node name. Okay, it's created. Now let's run this and see. You can go to the source, inspect. When we go to the debugging tools, in the debugging tools here, in the debugging tools, observe in the body section, just container is there. Only container is present in the body section. Nothing is inside. When I click on create image, automatically an image will come. And you see inside the container, that image element is created with all attributes you mentioned. So dynamically, we are creating an element and adding the element into the page. To add element into page, there must be some container. There must be some container. Where you want to add, you have to tell. It can be any container that can handle image. If you want to add some table, or if you want to add some row, where generally rows are added? In table body or table header. Where cells are added? In table row. Where list items are added? In ordered list. Where options are added? In select. You have to know the parent which is suitable for it, and into that parent we can add these elements. But this is not our main concept. Our main concept is how to present array. But to present array, we need to know this method of creating elements and adding. So 2 points are very clear. We learned how to create element, and we learned how to add the element. Okay, let's do the presentation and see. So now how we can present array? How we can present array? Let's see. First step, I will create in the body. In the body section, I will write an method event on load. Some body load. Okay, here we are creating body load. Okay, fine. On body load, what I want here is, we will create a simple categories. Heading is there, categories. Okay. When body loads, I will create an ordered list OL. So we will create OL ordered list. Now this ordered list is having ID as LST categories. LST categories is the ID. Now let's go to script. Outside the body, I am writing a collection. Outside the body means global. We can access from anywhere. Here outside the body, I am writing categories is an array. Array of some string. Suppose we have all, we have electronics. So we have like footwear. Like this, we have like fashion. Some options are there. Okay. Now I need to read every value from this array. and add into LST categories as list item. Into that LST categories, I need to add as list item. That means every value in array must be added as a list item. So first you need to understand the logic. Here two tasks are there. One is read every element from array. Second, add as list item. So first, how to read every element from array? We will better use for of, where item of what is it? Categories. Okay, this is to read every element. Okay, now where is every element stored? Every element is stored in which reference? Item. Okay, that means item contains all electronics, footwear and fashion. So for every element we have to create a list item. How to create a list item? Document dot create element. What is the element we have to create? Li. How to access this list item? We need a reference name where Li is equal to that list item. You can give same name, any name, doesn't matter. Now into the list item we want to display this category name. Where is the category name present? Category name is present in item, that we want to display in list item. Then do list item is having any attribute like value? In a list item, if I have to show any text, suppose in a text box, if I have to show any text, then we have to attach that to value property. Value. In a drop down, we have to attach it to option. Here list item don't have any value. Then inside list item, how you will display? List item is a container. Div, span, list item, table, cells, all these are containers. Into those containers we have to add some text. Then we have to use li dot inner HTML. We can use inner HTML or inner text. We can use inner HTML or inner text. So inner HTML, because it is a container, div, spans, data definitions, table, cells, all these are containers. In a container, inner HTML, what you need to display? Item. That means item means it contains all. That means it will create a list item. Remember, it is a iterator. Iterator means for every value it will create a list item. After creating list item, into that list item it will put this value. After keeping that value, it should add this into ordered list. That list item must be added into ordered list. How to add into ordered list? Document dot get element by ID. What is the ordered list name? LST categories. Remember, it depends on your requirement. If there is no ID, you can use query selector, anything. It doesn't matter, right? It should be ID only, right? What you can do? Document dot query selector. Query selector OL dot append child. Append child. What is the child node name? Li. Remember, that is not tag name, that is the reference name. Which reference name you given, that reference name you have to use. It's not tag name, right? So that's done. Okay, let's refresh this and see. And all the list items created. So we are generating an ordered list dynamically. What is advantage of this? Later, if anyone adds a item or removes item, automatically this will update. Later I will show you how to add items, remove items, we will learn. But if anybody adds an item into array, for example, let's go and here I will simply add one more category. I will add, suppose, men's clothing like this. And you can see that is also added. Automatically it updates whatever you have configured. Okay, that's fine. I don't want like order list. For example, I will put here another heading. I will say select category. Select category. Okay. Here I will put a drop down. This drop down is having an ID LST categories. Okay. Categories. Okay. Now into this drop down, we have to add all these items. Now let's see. Drop down is empty. It is empty. Nothing is present inside it. Okay. Now let's see here. I can use the same iterator because it is doing the same work. I can use the same iterator. Inside that iterator, now how to create an option into drop down. You cannot add any item directly into drop down. If you want to add, you have to create an option. So how to create an option? Where option is equal to document dot create element. Create element is what? Option. Okay, into option we want to display. So remember, you remembered I told you option have 4 properties. Every option have 4 properties in HTML. Remembered, 4 properties are present for every option in HTML. Text, value, disabled, selected. Remember, text, value, disable, selected. Text is what you want to show. Value is what you want to submit. Sometimes what you show and what you submit are different. We show some city name, and when it is submitted, we submit its pin code. If you remembered, we discussed that. So what you see is text. What you submit is value. Whether you want it selected by default or not is selected. You want selectable or not, that is disabled. So in HTML, we learned those 4. Remember, everyone is very excited about learning JavaScript, but without remembering all you learned in HTML, you can't do anything in JavaScript. Right? JavaScript is manipulating HTML. That means if you take HTML easy, you can't handle JavaScript. You can't do anything. Mainly presentation failures in interviews happens because they know good JavaScript, but they forget how to present in HTML. That is where people fail regularly. That's the reason you have to keep all the HTML attributes, HTML presentation techniques remembered, right? So option have how many attributes? One is text. Option dot text is equal to item. Option dot value. Value is also item. Item contains the name, reference name. Item is iterating item, na? That means category name. Option text, option value. Option doesn't require inner HTML because option text will act as inner HTML. Another important. Now this is enough. These 2 are enough. Add this option into drop down. Then how to access the drop down? Drop down is LST categories. So what we have to do? Document dot get element by ID. What is it? LST categories dot append child. Append child. Which one? Option. That is ready. Now you can see a drop down is created with all these options. That means we are creating a drop down dynamically. We are creating an order list dynamically. Now, in that way, you can create any element dynamically. Suppose I want to create a paragraph, and in every paragraph I want to display. You can create any element dynamically and you can present it. For example, I will show another technique how we can handle means various options. Let's do one more option. Suppose here I will create here another heading. Okay, categories table, categories menu, something like this. Here we will create a table. In table T head contains TH. TH is suppose categories. Okay. You can see that is the table header. Table have border 1, table have width 200 or 300, like this we define. Now in that we have categories. Now inside the table header we have table body. In table body we want to show all the categories. In table we have to show all the categories. In table body directly you can display the content. In table body directly we can display the content? No. So in table body what will be there? In table body what will be there? Row. In row directly you can display any content? No. Where you have to display? TD. So first which one we have to create? We have to first create TD. First we have to create TR. Then you have to create TD. A category name must be displayed in TD. Add this TD to TR. TD must be added to TR. Right? That means I will show the hierarchy here. So first we have table body, T body. Now into T body, we want to add a row. In that we need to add a cell. Right? Now first what we have to do, what is the first step? First step is, first we need to add this table cell. This is table cell. First create this table cell. After creating this table cell, add this cell to row. Cell must be added into row. So that means, for example, this is table cell and this is table row and this is table body. All right, this is table body. Now what we have to do here is, first this table cell is added into row. The table cell is added into row. After adding table cell into row, this row must be added into table body. Right? That is the hierarchy we have to follow. That is the reason you must be very strong in HTML. First we should know what is the hierarchy, into which element sits correctly. Right? That you have to know first. Without knowing that, you can't do anything in JavaScript. So now what we have to do here, so let's go. So first I can use the same iteration because same items are there. Okay, how to create? First var tr document dot create element, document dot create element. Which element? tr. Okay, next var td document dot create element, which element? td. Now td dot inner HTML, because it's a container item, that means category name. Present tr, so tr dot append child, append child, append child. Which one? td. That means this td is reference name. Table cell is added into row. Okay, after adding the table cell into row, now row must be added into table body. So document dot query selector t body, or you can give an id for it, t body into that append child. Append child. Which one to append? tr to append, because td is added to row is added to body. Now you can see it is ready. This is the table heading, these are the rows. Remember, currently you are using simple data. Later when complex data comes, it is very complex in presentation. Almost for freshers, I have seen 80-90% of fresher level interviews, one task is very regularly given. They give some data and they will say that design a table dynamically and present in JavaScript. That means present this data in a table. That means creating tables, adding data into tables and presenting them in a proper way. This is a very common task in fresher level interviews. So data is not so simple as you are seeing now. Data will be little bit more complex in the next level. That means currently we are just dealing with array of strings. Later it will be very complex. In that case, first understanding the data is difficult. First we need to understand what data is coming. Then we have to present the data in a proper way. I will show you those steps. Currently, we were able to create order list dynamically. We are able to create drop down dynamically. We are able to create table, rows, cells dynamically. But this is only for simple data. Later we will see complex data. So now let me give you this example. This is the example of presenting the data. This is one example. I will copy this entire example for you. This is the example for presenting the data. Why am I using the same iterator? Because same elements every time, same elements. Let's do one more example here. See, what we will do here is let's create another collection. See, what I am doing is in the body section, yeah, body onload is normal. What we will do is in the body, we will put a marquee. Marquee have some attributes. Scroll amount is equal to some 15. Okay, now in this marquee, I want to add some pictures dynamically. I need to add some pictures dynamically. So let's see here in my images, we have some pictures. Backpack, some jacket, speaker, TV, some images are there, right? Some images are present here. Now I want to use these images. So see here, I am creating a collection where gallery is a collection of images. Images means image path. So first one // public / images / some shoe.jpg. That is one path, comma, second path all are string type. All are string type. Dot dot slash public slash images slash some uh, backpack. Yeah, backpack dot jpg. Similarly, another public slash images slash jacket dot jpg. Like this, we have some images. Dot dot slash public slash images slash speaker dot jpg. So we have some images collection inside array. Images collection means their path. So, okay, now I want to display them as pictures inside MarkU. So how? First, I need to read every path from collection. So what we have to do for var item of, or I will simply say path of collection. Collection is what? Gallery. Okay. Now path contains this path. Okay. For every path, we have to create an image where img is equal to document dot create element. What is it? Img. To that image, we have to apply this path. Img dot src is equal to path. Img dot width is equal to some 200. Img dot height. Img dot height is equal to 200. Okay, where to add this image? Into MarkU. That means document dot query selector. Query selector. What is it? MarkU. We have to add into MarkU. Dot what? Append child. Which one? Image. Image must be added into it. Now let's run this and see. So we are creating images dynamically. These images are not standard. So in real world projects, we don't put standard images. Why? Because every few days those changes. Every few days we have new products related offers, new products related banner to display. We don't put static images. We don't put static images. We can just put here. So I already told you, you can add anything. You can add anything. So you can add anything. You can add a paragraph, you can add a div, you can add a span. You have to create it and append. Right? Anything you can add. Only the point is you must know where to add and how we can add. How we can add. That is the concept. So that means whether it is suitable for adding or not also you have to know. For example, you created a text area. Into text area, can you add image? Into text area, can you add image? No. Why? Because it is an RC data type. These general common things you should remember. Right? So you cannot simply add anything anywhere. First, you should know, is that parent capable of handling it? If parent is, because you cannot add a picture in a text box. You cannot add a picture in any radio buttons. Right? You cannot add a picture in button until it is an HTML5 button. Right? So many things are there. We will see various techniques. This is only beginning. We will see various techniques. This is only sample data. We will see various complex things, how to handle them. Okay. So this is the first thing. Okay. Copy this now. This is example for you. This is another example of simple how we can create an image. Now, this is the technique of creating and presenting. That means various techniques of presenting a collection. So for that, you have to create element and add the elements. Here techniques, what we learned is how to add into order list, how to add into drop down, how to add into table. but it is not yet done. We have some more complex data. When we know complex data, we can present in a complex way, that like cards, like more complex table rows and cells, we will see in the next level. With the data, we will see. This is one point. Another important is, now as a developer, data is not directly provided to you every time. Actually, we have to learn consume data and consume data from API and present in HTML page. This is another technique very important you have to learn. Consume data from API and present in HTML page. Actually, the categories related information we created here, but in real-time projects, it comes from an API. API is a big concept. We will discuss about APIs in backend technology later. As of now, I will just give you a simple idea. For example, I will tell you a simple concept. So we have, this is two computers. This is a client computer, client, so PC, and this is a server. Now, suppose early days, few years back, we have server, we have YouTube, we have Facebook, we have Amazon shopping and all this. Now, earlier, I am talking about in the early days of smartphones. In the early days of smartphones, that means when smartphones started in the beginning, what happened is, in order to watch this, suppose this is not a PC. So suppose this is a client device. So it can be a PC, or it can be a mobile, or it can be a tab, anything. Now, in order to watch these on our devices, earlier we have to use browser. On browser, what we have to do, open YouTube and watch the videos, open Facebook and watch Facebook. When smartphones came, even on mobile also, we have to use browsers. Even today on mobile, you have browsers. You can watch YouTube on that browser. Some links will come, you open the link, they open in browsers. So earlier we have to do like that. Then to make more compatible, then what they have done, they developed an YouTube app, Facebook app, Amazon app. Those apps you can install on your computer, on your mobile. On your mobile, you will have YouTube now, YouTube app. On your mobile, you have Facebook app. On your mobile, you have Amazon app. Now, two computers, two apps. One is server app, another one is client app. Server app is client app is connected with server app. That means, remember, YouTube, Facebook, Amazon, can you use them without internet connection? You can. Offline data you can. But any new updated contents, if you want, you have to connect with server. That is the reason YouTube, Facebook, Amazon, WhatsApp, Twitter, Zomato, Swiggy, all these are not mobile apps. They are not mobile apps. They are called distributed apps. They are called distributed applications. They are not mobile applications. That means client side one application, server side one application, they communicate with each other. So why they are not mobile apps? Mobile app means it should able to run on your mobile without any internet connection. It should provide you some facilities and functionalities without any internet connection. If any app is providing such way, that is an mobile app. That means in your mobiles you have calculator, calendar, and gallery, file manager. All these are mobile apps. Not only that, some games you download without connection, you can play them. They are mobile apps. Some tutorials you can download and read them every day without internet connection. They are mobile. So this is the concept of API. Understood? API is a technique. Later detail I will tell you. API is a technique where data is transferred from server application to client. So through API technique, we transfer data from server to client. So what is the concept of API? Is learning how to transport data from client to server, server to client. Remember, it is a very big topic. So much is there about API. So don't hurry into the concept. Just take the point what I have told you now and leave it. Don't stress your brain more than that. Okay. So a lot of doubts will come. Lot of techniques you have to learn. You are not ready to learn about API as of now. But why I am telling this? Because we are going to learn how to consume data from an API. Means how to bring data live. How we can access the data live from server and we can use it. Actually, observe, see, actually, how to create such APIs you will learn later. How to create such APIs you will learn later. What we will do is temporarily we will use some APIs. So how APIs will return the data, we will see that. Consuming API is nothing but, for example, some free APIs are there. Like you see, there is a website called Fake Store. Fake Store API.com. This is Fake Store API.com. These people will provide you some free APIs for practicing your web technologies. Like that, so many people are there. So we will use this API. Later, I will show you some other APIs also. Now, like this, you can create your own APIs later. Your own APIs later. You see, these Fake Store API people they provide here. You can see they provide some HTTP methods. In the HTTP methods, when I click products, you can see all products data will come. You can see all the products data will come. But it is very complex. As of now, we don't know this. We haven't learned about this. As of now, we haven't learned how to deal with this. So leave it. Here, what you do is take this API, products/categories. This API is returning. This is understandable. What is it? It is an array of string. Array of string. It's a simple string array, right? This we know. Okay. Now observe carefully. This is the URL from where data is coming. You have to learn this very well. Why? Because whenever you go to interviews, whenever in interview they give a task to you, they will say that this is our API data. This is our APIs. These are our APIs. Data is present here. You access this data and design this presentation. That means they don't ask you to design data. They already have data. They will provide you APIs and they will say that from this API you can get the data and these screens you have to design. They will give you some screenshots. Those screenshots you have to prepare. That means functionally. You have to design them. So data is not designed by you. Data is accessed and used through APIs. That is the reason this is very important. Copy this URL from where data is coming. Okay. This is the location from where data is coming. What we have to do, we have to consume it. Actually, to consume data from API, you need a concept of AJAX. But we don't wait. Generally, people learn about AJAX concepts and use them when they are learning jQuery. After JavaScript is finished, how to work with AJAX and all. But we don't wait till the time. We will start in the beginning itself. That means AJAX concept, we will start in JavaScript itself. We don't need to wait. So end of JavaScript, beginning of jQuery and all this. We can start this here. Later you will learn various techniques. Now, actually in HTML, JavaScript provides fetch. JavaScript provides fetch method to fetch data from API. JavaScript provides fetch method to fetch data from API. So it uses an asynchronous. It uses an asynchronous callback technique. Asynchronous callback technique means executing a function without blocking other tasks. That means executing a function without blocking other tasks. Generally, synchronous means while it is executing a function, it will block all other tasks. So if it is executing a function without blocking other tasks, then it is called as asynchronous. Asynchronous callback technique. Syntactically, how we can do is fetch and URL. This is API URL. After that, it uses a done method. So that means then method, then uses a callback function. Actually, this callback function gets response. And another then callback function. And here, this response have to return response into JSON. Why? Because response is in binary format. So response is in binary format. Binary format you cannot present directly. That is the reason you have to convert that into JSON. After that, we have to collect the data. This function will collect the data, and this data is in JSON. JSON is JavaScript object notation. JSON. So JSON is a JavaScript object notation. Later we will see. In the next level, we will see what is this JSON. So that is fetch. Remember, currently we are using this only for ordinary array, simple array. Later we will use for other complex data, right? Now, what is our task is, previously data is present in array variable. We declared a variable, in that we kept some data. But now data comes live from some other websites. We pull the data and use it. Let's see. Let's go here now. On body load, we want to create an order list OL with list item. And data comes from this website. These details we have to access and present in our website, in our HTML page. Then how to do that? So on body load, first we have to use fetch method. By using fetch method, you can fetch from where that address. This URL you have to copy, right? That means I will give http:// store API. You can copy and paste /products/categories. This is the API from where array is coming. Okay. Then we will use a callback function. This function gets the response data. That response data we have to return response.json. Convert that response into JSON because response comes in binary. That is the reason in future technologies we use better options. Why? Because JavaScript uses a fetch method, and fetch method problem is it will not directly return data in JSON. It will return data in binary, which you have to convert into JSON. Then we have to use the data. But in jQuery, Angular, React like technologies, directly data will come in JSON. Right here, currently it is coming in binary. After that, then again a callback function. Now we have to collect the data which is returned by this function. First function will return the data in JSON. Second function will catch the data. Whatever returned by first function, second function will catch. And it will store in which location? Data. You can give any name. Suppose I can give categories, any reference name you can give. So this categories contains the list of all the categories. Okay, this is the array now. How to present array? You know, we have to use an for. Inside that, then for var item of what categories, we have to create a list item. Document dot create element. What is it? List item. List item dot inner HTML. What is it? Item. Add this to ordered list. Document dot query selector. Query selector. What is it? OL dot append child. Append child. Which one? Li. List item must be added. Now you can see it is added. Let's run this page. You can see it is ready. The data is coming from API. It will take some time to get the data from API and display. So any problem is there? Once we will check here. Because from API, from another server, data has to come, it will take some time. So because server have to send the data, from there we have to consume and use it. So it will take some time. This is what the data is. This is the data they are having, which we are collecting and displaying here. How to display uppercase, lowercase, all these you know. Suppose I want to convert this into uppercase. Item dot, what is it? To uppercase. To uppercase. I am using that to uppercase. And I can present the data into uppercase letters. So, can you add any new item into this API? This is not our API. This is somebody else's API. We are using it. So you can add any new item into APIs if it is your own API. Right? They haven't given a facility of any adding or removing. They have given only facility of reading. That is the reason. Later, we will learn how to create our own API and do it. Now, the same thing you can use for any. Suppose I want to create a drop down, same, right? That means we have to use and select. We have to use a select, and here inside this for we have to create var option document dot create element. So option element and option dot text is equal to item, option dot value is equal to item, document dot query selector, so that is select dot append child option. Now these categories are added into that as a drop down. On body load, it have to fetch that and display those here. This time data is coming from that API and we are using it. So this is the simple way of accessing the data and presenting. This is another very important technique you have to learn. Example is this. I will give you that website name, http://fakestoreapi.com. And here there are so many methods. We don't use all of them now. Currently we are using which one? http fakestore api.com/products/categories. Others we will see later. That means from here we are accessing all the categories information, fetching the details and displaying. So this is an example for that. That is an example for fetching the data and using it. This is the basic technique of reading and presenting. Now another important, in the arrays we can learn about how we can add elements into array. How to add elements into array, how do we manage? That we'll see in next session. Tomorrow we will do that, right? In tomorrow's session, we will finish working with arrays. Then we will go into very major concept, object, array of objects. Then real-time complete data you can see. How to handle the complete real world data and present it in a proper way, right? We will use some APIs and we will interact with APIs. Tomorrow we'll continue.